Hello, hello. Welcome to the Enquiry podcast. This is a show that helps you to influence your reality to the greatest capacity in order to be able to use your life as the medicine that it is, to be able to know how to read the signposts and follow the breadcrumbs in order to express the fullness of who you are and what you're actually here for. I'm your host, Nerida Mills. I am a master psychosomatic practitioner, coach and facilitator, and it is my absolute pleasure to have you here. Welcome on board and let's get started. Welcome back to Enquiry. I am being totally spoiled today. I'm spoiling myself really. Walking through a beautiful bushland reserve not far from my home, and there are birds singing everywhere, which I'm very, very grateful for. It's like that little bit of first sunshine in the end of winter, early spring, and everybody comes out to celebrate. And do not blame you. So today what we're looking at is handing back responsibility. We've spoken about the importance of responsibility, my ability to respond quite a bit. And I talk about this quite a lot because it is your influence, your point of influence, right? Now handing back responsibility is just as important. The reason for that is because many of us have actually been raised to feel the burden or to hold the burden of other people's responsibilities. So what that looks like is, for example, I'm a mum. My children maybe want me to do things that they are completely capable of doing themselves. And they look at me with their big, beautiful eyes, with their little sad faces, really trying to avoid any form of discomfort, because why should they have to? They've got a mum who loves them, who wants to look after them. And, and I want to be able to provide them with things that I didn't have in my life. And so I'm probably going to, and this is what a lot of people do, probably going to compromise on their ability to actually take responsibility for themselves in order for me to make it easier for them out of some form of desire for them not to feel the way that I felt when I was a kid. And so what's actually happening here is that instead of empowering them to build their own level of resilience, their own confidence, their knowing that they are capable in life, what we do is we placate and we make it easy for them. We give them an easy out, and we teach them that other people are responsible for their outcomes. Now, this is detrimental on a number of different levels, so let's unpick it a little bit here. Number one, it is detrimental to the child or to the person, right? Just giving children as an example. We do this to our friends, we do this to our colleagues, we do this to our bosses, we do this in a variety of different ways to a whole heap of people. In fact, some people are chronic, rescuers. So it's detrimental to the other person because the other person doesn't have the opportunity then to learn from the lessons that their life is teaching them. If they've got an issue or a problem going on, then what is happening is that their life is guiding them to greater levels of their own self-expression, self-love, and the fullness of who they are. So by us going in and swooping in and getting to be the hero of the moment, taking some burden off their shoulders, what we also take off their shoulders at the same time is that piece of medicine. And so that can be very detrimental to somebody because over a long period of time, what happens is that people will always rise to the degree to which the people around them believe. So there are obviously exceptions to this, and you see some beautiful examples of exceptions to this, but majority of the time people will rise to the expectation that you put on them. And so if you're putting expectation on somebody that they're not actually capable to do that, oh honey, let me take that off your shoulders. I can see how much you're struggling with it, which gives me a really great ego boost, don't get me wrong. I get to feel like I'm so much more capable than the other person. So, and I, definitely lived this out myself, where I would convince myself that it was my responsibility to do the hard thing for other people so that they didn't have to feel the burden of life because I was strong enough to hold it. And that was the story. You're strong enough to hold it so you can take it, which kind of insinuates that they're not. And that is very detrimental, to put that energy out there that the people around us are incapable of, managing their own challenges in life. The second person that this is really detrimental to is yourself. The reason that it's detrimental to yourself, and don't get me wrong, again, there's benefits here. The detriment really comes from exhaustion, overwhelm. You can feel like there's never enough. You could never possibly do enough to meet all of these responsibilities that you perceive or that you have, even though 80% of them aren't yours. And so we can convince ourselves, actually, even though I'm strong enough to hold all of the burdens, I'm also not capable enough to do what I need to be doing here in my life. And thus is the out, right? Because if I'm focusing all of my attention on everybody else's responsibilities or what they're capable of doing, and I'm taking all of that on to quote unquote protect them from themselves, then what I'm not doing, where I'm not spending my time, my energy, my effort, is in creating my life the way that I want, in really fully stepping up to the responsibilities that are actually mine. So when we distort our responsibilities with other people's capacities to meet their own life and take that off them, what we're actually doing is we're really weakening our ability to do what we're capable of in our own life. And so, we're really taking away their level of dignity, and we're taking away our level of actual responsibility, of accountability to ourselves. The third place that loses in this is society. I truly believe that we are unique individuals for a reason. I believe that we are all here for our own individual purposes, and actually if each of us were to step up into that, then the world would be a much better place, because you'd have people who are passionate around a whole heap of different topics and subjects being experts in that, instead of doing what they think that they should be doing based on what they were told as kids is their responsibility. So if we're able to help all of us to step into that space, then society at large also benefits. So what we want to do is we want to take that responsibility back or hand it back to the people whose it is. Now, obviously, when we're doing this, there are some challenges that are likely to come up. Some of those challenges look like confrontation. People don't understand why all of a sudden do you not want to do that for me anymore? Are you upset with me? The reason for that is because we teach people how to treat us by allowing them to do so. We also have set dynamics in place with certain people. So when we shift something about a dynamic, especially if we don't communicate around it, then it's very, very unsettling to the unconscious mind of the other person. So whenever you're looking to hand somebody back their responsibility in certain areas, what I recommend that you do is actually have a conversation around it. And that conversation is based on their capacity to be able to do the thing. So I would never hand somebody, like my kids, for example, I'm not going to give them responsibility that they're not capable to meet. If I was to do that, that's just mean. I'm just torturing the child and setting them up for disappointment. So what I want to do is age appropriately hand back responsibility, and do so whilst letting them know that the reason that they now have this is because they're capable of it, and also our belief in them to be able to do it. Now, there may be a transition point in time where there is some instruction required or asked for or needed, where some support can be given. So it's not necessarily, cut and dry. We want to be able to look at ultimate outcome. What are we actually wanting from the situation, and what's going to best meet that? So there are points at which, I'm going to help you with this for the next couple of times, and then you'll be able to do it yourself because you're capable of that. I had this with my eldest daughter the other day. She wanted some help with her tax. I said, okay, cool, no worries. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit you down. I'm going to walk you through how to do all of this, because it's the first time that you've done it. And the next financial year, if you have any questions, you let me know. But by the third year, she should be completely fine to be able to do that herself. So it's just staging people through the capabilities of their own ability to respond to their own life, thus helping to empower them rather than rescue them, and helping to empower yourself to be able to be your own knight in shining armor. You are the one that you're waiting for to be able to come and create the change in your life. And what you need to be able to do that is all of your resourcefulness. You need all of your energy. You need your focus. You need your support. You need your nourishment. And whilst you're giving that to everybody else who's capable of giving it to themselves, you're not giving it to yourself. So it's time to hand that back and take back what is yours, which is your energy, your power, your focus, and your action. Okay, gorgeous humans, hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll speak to you soon. So that's it from us. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I would like to really acknowledge you for spending the time to explore what creates your reality and how you can influence it best. If you have absolutely loved this episode and the ones before it, then I highly encourage that you jump onto my newsletter list. You'll be able to find the details of that in the show notes. You can also follow me on Facebook or Instagram at Nerida Mills. Really, really, really looking forward to speaking with you again soon. If you have any comments, insights, feedback, anything that you would like to share from these episodes, please feel free to email me at info@neridamills.com. Until next time.